I know I've been the recipient of that. But as a rule, we need to work. And when something that we have set our hopes on and based our life on, and we're established in that, when that gets taken away, all of a sudden these little doubts, they come and they start nipping at you. You're on the path to a good thing. God is working in your life. He's showing himself faithful and strong, and all of a sudden this little thing comes and says, oh yeah, well, what about your job? If God was faithful, then why'd you lose your job? Right? Anybody else heard that? You know, all these little things, they come at you. Or healing. We believe that God is a God that heals. His will is for us to be whole and in health. And something comes along and you're in the hospital. And these thoughts come, where's your God now? Where's your healing at now? Where's what you believed in now? And it kind of hurts, so we don't fight back. And then our confidence slides. We let it go. Hebrews 10:35. Hebrews 10:35. So do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. Do not throw away your confidence. It is an intentional release of your confidence. When those little things that come and nip at you, that hawk, he's out there, he's after that nest. He sees lunch. His goal, his confidence is lunch. When these little birds come and nip at him, he throws his confidence away and he's out of there. Because self-preservation takes over. I have to protect myself. I have to close myself in so that I don't get hurt, so that I don't look like a fool, so that I'm not ridiculed and mocked and laughed at. If I lower my beliefs and my standards, it'll be easier to reach them. Right? That's kind of the mentality that hits us. If we don't expect as much from God, we think then He can't let us down that much when it doesn't work. But God never said it wasn't going to work. He said, hold on to your confidence. He's talking to that hawk. He says, when you go in there and raid that nest, you make sure you take mom and dad with you. Get the whole thing. Wipe it out. Don't let them come and get after you. Don't let them come and pick at you and rip your feathers out and pluck at your skin. Take the whole thing. Your confidence, your goal is lunch. Take the whole nest. Don't turn around. Don't let them scare you off. Go after it. Go after it. Go after it. Keep your confidence. Uh-oh. The third thing, I guess this one kind of ties in with the first ones, but James chapter 1, verse 6. Now let's start in 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. There's a will in there. Yeah. Not a might, not a maybe. It's a will. Right? Because God doesn't find fault. He doesn't nitpick and say, well, last week you didn't quite listen. I know we got it straightened out, but still, I'm not totally pleased with where you're at yet. You got more to go before I'll answer your prayers. God doesn't do that. Sometimes we do that. But God doesn't do that. He doesn't find fault. He doesn't look for reasons not to bless us. It says, God gives generously to all. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt. Because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He is double-minded, unstable in all he does. Part of not having confidence. You're double-minded. You're praying for this. Yes, I'm believing God for this. I'm believing God for a new car. But maybe I'll just drive this old wreck for another 20 years and hopefully it'll last. I'm believing God for a spouse. Oh man, I just don't know if I'm ever going to get married. I'm going to be single the rest of my life. I'm believing God for a job, a good paying job. I'll probably end up working at McDonald's for the rest of my life. The good news is there, at least you're working. But McDonald's doesn't pay the bills. Well, yeah, unless you own it, yeah. You have to pick your goal. What are you believing for? And hang on to it. I'm believing for a good paying job. I'm going to get a good paying job. If I have to work at McDonald's to tie me through until I get there, I'm going to get a good paying job. This is a stepping stone. This is a stepping stone. I met a friend of mine last week, and I saw him behind the counter at Canadian Tire. I said, "Oh, how long have you been here?" "Oh, a month and a half," or whatever it was, short time anyways. Just a couple of days a week. Fills in the gap what unemployment doesn't cover. Okay. He said, "But I'm only here for another week or two because I have another job." Better than I had before. Same line of work, similar anyways, but better. A promotion. He got let go from one job. Most of us would say, my job is gone. My security is gone. My income is gone. Well, here in Canada we have this thing called unemployment, which kind of helps out a little bit if you're not working. For those who work, yeah. But he didn't just sit there and say, "Now what am I going to do?" He went out, he got another job, and he applied elsewhere. He worked while he wasn't working. His goal is to provide for his family and to do good by his family. And you require a good position for that. And he got his good position, but in the meantime, he took what he could get. So he kept his eyes on the goal. He didn't settle for the in-between. He didn't say good enough. He said, "This is what I'm going for." This is his confidence. Any athlete who trains, they don't train to say, "Well, I'm never going to be the best. I'm never going to get there." No, they train to be the best. And in the meantime, they'll take the 4th place and the 3rd place and the 2nd place. But they keep training so that they can get the 1st place. They want to be center stage with the gold around their neck. It's confidence. Don't lose your confidence. Don't throw it off because you get sidetracked or derailed. Don't throw it off. Don't be double-minded.